So does that justify everything that you do?
Excuse me, let me tell you something. What do you think they were doing it for? Because they were trying to save us from poverty? No, they did it because they needed us. It's honor and family and loyalty. And some of us wanted a piece of the action. Now, we weren't educated like the Americans, but we had the balls to take what we wanted.
Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another third time this week. Third time's the charm. Welcome to another edition of On The Go right here on Driving to the Top Productions, where I'm your host, the host of DTTP, Marky Mark. You know where to find me. What's up, everybody? It's Thursday, a special Thursday edition. It is March 12th, 2026. Wanted to come on one more time this week before the big show on Sunday. Before we go any further, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on X at MarkyMark_OTG. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This show On The Go you can find on X and Instagram at OnTheGo_TXLA. Driving to the Top Productions, you know where to find them. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. Like always, this show is presented by POGGERS and Rogue Energy right below me. POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement, and Rogue Energy, the official gaming drink of this show On The Go. Poggers.shop or go to rogueenergy.com or download that app on any mobile device. There's the promo code OTG to get 10% off of your order. Now, I wanted to kind of pick back up where I left off on Monday. You saw my full reaction at the start of the show when we were talking about Saints hitting it out the ballpark with the free agency. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about McNeese making history, PEAT. Let's not waste any time. Let's pick up where we left off on Monday. We're going to kick this off in the 504. Let's take it to New Orleans and talk about that free agency. Let's go. Now we're in the 504 talk, and we're going to talk about how the Saints did in free agency, which I find was a big success. Yeah, we did drop two guys in the free agency that were actually picked up. I'm gonna send my thoughts about them. But it all started back on Monday when we picked up running back Travis Etienne, who is also not just a Louisiana native. He's from the town I grew up 10 miles away from in Jennings, Louisiana. Of course, I was born in Jennings. I used to live in Jennings. I live about less than 10 miles away from Jennings. So it's like a home away from home. And let me just tell you, in the real world, like where I'm at, the hype has been on a higher level when we got the announcement that Travis Etienne has signed a 4-year contract for $52 million to come play running back for the New Orleans Saints. And I know I know how good of a running back he is. I remember watching him as a Jennings Bulldog. He's a power back. He's got speed. He knows how to get out the pocket, and he can even play a little bit of receiver and catch the ball himself. And we know what a career he had in Clemson. 2 national championship appearances. He did win a national title his second year at Clemson. He lost his junior year to LSU. But all of his 4 years under Dabo, he went to the college football playoffs and went to the NFL draft 5 years ago. Who would have thought 5 years ago, not only we'd seen him in the NFL, but 5 years later, he'd be coming back home to play with the black and gold. I remember he was drafted 25th in the first round of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Had a great career with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's just some numbers here. As a Jacksonville Jaguar, he's had over 3,000 total rushing yards, 3,798 to be exact. He averages 4.2 yards per carry. He's already has 25 rushing touchdowns for his career, 168 receptions, over 1,300 receiving yards in his NFL career, and 7 receiving touchdowns. And that was just in five seasons. I'm ready to see what he can do in New Orleans. And he's also going to be in that running back room with guys like, like an Alvin Kamara, Audrey Estime, Kendre Miller, some of them guys. But it's going to kind of beg the question, what's going to happen with Alvin Kamara now? People think, is he going to still remain another year? Is he going to retire? Are they going to somewhere down the road, maybe close to the draft, they get rid of him? Because I have all the love for Alvin Kamara, but I know he's not what he used to be. He's not that prime. Not the prime he was in his earlier years, especially not like he had in 2020, especially that Christmas Day game where he had 5 rushing touchdowns against the Vikings in those Christmas cleats that are put up in the Hall of Fame or something, and he got fined for. But I'm going to definitely keep you posted when I find something true about Alvin Kamara. But I can believe that we're going to see Travis as the man behind Tyler Shuck. He's going to be our RB1. He's going to be the starting running back in these games. You might see him maybe on a slot as well. Might see him arrange around with like Estime, maybe Kendre Miller and whatnot. And we also got a couple other running backs that can kind of aid behind him. But I'm excited to see a local hometown boy come back home to play in the Superdome. And he's going to bring some revenue, not just from Jennings, maybe from around the state. And it's going to be it's insane that he's also going to be in the same division as his baby brother, Trevor, who is actually going into his second season with the Carolina Panthers. And Panthers and the Saints are in the NFC South together, so we get to see brother versus brother twice a year, despite that, Trevor is on kick. Mainly, we only see him on kickoff return. But he does carry the ball a little bit during second and third down conversions. We do see him get in the game a bit. But it's going to be something in that ETN household twice a year when we get the Saints and the Panthers every single year, at least for the next 4 years. Hopefully, he'll be rocking the number 1 jersey like he did at Jacksonville, because, the last guy who wore that number was Alontae Taylor, who's no longer with us. He's actually picked up. He's going to the Tennessee Titans, and that number 1 jersey might be available. By the way, that's the jersey I still have, and I have all 4. I got the home, the road, the color rush, and the gold jersey. Even though it don't say a name in the back, it just says who dat. Hey, I can still say I got the Travis jersey if he's going to wear number 1 for New Orleans. I don't see him really wearing another number. I don't think he's going to wear the number he wore in high school. He wore number 8 in high school. He did wear number 9 at Clemson, which number 9 is sacred. I don't think we're never going to see anyone wear that number again after everything Drew Brees did for us. I'd say let him keep his number he wore in Jacksonville. Let him wear number 1. It's available now. So with Alontae Taylor going to the Titans, I enjoyed having him, since we picked him up in the draft. Another guy we're going to miss that I really enjoyed the last several years, Demario Davis, who was not just the leader of the defense. He was a leader in the locker room for the New Orleans Saints, and he's going to play for the New York Jets, and there's never going to be another Demario Davis. I want to thank everything he's ever done for us with the New Orleans Saints. He's been with the Saints from 2018 to 2025. I know while he was with the Saints, he was a first-team All-Pro. He was a 4-time second-team All-Pro in his years with the New Orleans Saints. He was also, while he was with the Jets, so he's actually going back to a familiar team. He was the solo tackle co-leader in 2017 is Demario Davis. But, I think I know he's going to do great things. Hopefully he can turn that defense around for the New York Jets and they can get back to their winning ways. While, Alontae Taylor, remember we picked him up in the draft back in 2022. We picked him up out of Tennessee. During his career with the Saints, he's had 293 total tackles, 7 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 52 pass deflections, and 4 interceptions with the New Orleans Saints. And I wish him nothing but the very best as well. But let's not just talk about, what we lost. Let's talk about the more people we picked up after the free agency. We didn't just get a running back. which I'm going to kind of change the subject again. Now that we got the running back, I think we now know where we're going to aim in the NFL draft. You know, before we even had the audacity thinking Travis was going to come to New Orleans, I was having the mind of maybe getting Jeremiah Love in the draft if he were to manage to make it to the 8th pick. But now that we'll talk more about, I'm going to bring that back up later. Let's acknowledge some more of these New Orleans Saints we picked up. How about we needed an offensive lineman. We got one in offensive guard, David Edwards. By the way, a former Super Bowl champion. You know, he started his career with the Rams. He was drafted in 2019. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams. You know, he just played 3 seasons with the Buffalo Bills. And now he started 77 games out of 103 he played. So, and it's going to be nice to have him, you know, protect Tyler Shuck. You know, he's a right guard, you know, whether they put him at left or right, weak side or strong side. You know, I do see him playing guard along with Cesar Ruiz. You know, he'll also be on the O-line with guys like, you know, and Eric McCoy, Taliese Fuaga, and of course, Kelvin Banks. You know, that's basically going to be your offensive line right there, adding David Edwards. And that's going to be good. And, you know, he's also, I think he's going to get, it's going to make him feel more comfortable because he's also going to be reuniting with a man he actually played with in Buffalo, who is now going to be an offensive assistant coach for the O-line, and Will Clapp, who just recently retired from the New Orleans Saints. But Saints picked him back up as now an offensive assistant. And, you know, these two got some good chemistry together, I've heard, you know, during their playing days in Buffalo. You know, Will Clapp is an all New Orleans boy. Remember, he played high school at Brother Martin. You know, he went down the road at LSU, came back home, was drafted by the Saints in 2018, played there till 21, and then he kind of took off a bit, played with the Rams for 2 seasons, and then came to play for Buffalo. And now he's back home in New Orleans where he belongs, even though he is a retired player. So I think we're going to see some good chemistry there with David Edwards and Will Clapp, you know, coaching that line that he once like lined up with those same guys that's kind of going to basically replace him. A couple other big names we're going to pick up. I know the Saints needed a tight end, and we got one in Noah Fant, the former Cincinnati Bengal. You know, the farm boy from I think he's from Nebraska, but he played his career at Iowa. He started his career with the Denver Broncos. He was the 20th pick in the first round in 2019. Played there 3 seasons, played 3 seasons with the Seahawks, and then he just recently coming off his 2025 campaign with Cincinnati. One thing I can tell you, though, during his career at Cincinnati, with 34 receptions, 3 receiving touchdowns, and 288 total receiving yards from last season, I think he could go pick up some more numbers. Now, you want to talk about his career numbers so far? He's already receiving yards is nearly at the 3,600 mark. He's had 334 receptions and 18 total receiving touchdowns in his career in the NFL. And I think, you know, he's going to be, I could see him on that starting lineup, you know, especially if we don't have Taysom Hill anymore. I don't even know where Taysom Hill's future is going to be. That's another one we're kind of like waiting to see, like where we're going to do with Taysom Hill. Is he going to come back? Is he going to retire or whatnot? You know, the man who like had an outstanding 2025 season, you know, that Jets game that I was at, their last home game, put him at it was over 1,000. It was over 1,000 yards rushing, passing, and receiving. The only guy to ever have those numbers. And I would wish we could keep Taysom Hill. You know, even if he does come back, you know, he could play a little bit of everything. You know, even if he would be the starting tight end, you know, him and Noah Fant could kind of rotate around a little bit. Speaking of coming back, and I'm so glad we got this man back, a guy we picked up in the NFL draft back in 2019. After 4 seasons, he did leave for a few years to go play with our arch rivals in the Falcons. But welcome back, Caden Ellis, back at linebacker. I think he's going to be the man to replace Demario Davis and help going to lead that defensive man. No, and he's going to be the line. He's going to be the middle linebacker. It's going to be him. I know it's going to be Caden Ellis. Everything else, we might see some other changes on defense, but at middle linebacker, that's going to be the guy starting over Demario Davis. And then we even for a bonus, we picked up a punter. We picked up a New Orleans, I wouldn't say New Orleans boy, but a man who knows what New Orleans is like. He played his college career at Tulane, and I'm talking about Ryan Wright, California boy. played college at Tulane from 2018 to 2021. He did go to the NFL undrafted, started his career with the Vikings, played 4 seasons with them, and now he's coming to New Orleans. I like this. I mean, we could use a punter. Why not? You know, Saints are making moves, man. I know being one of the laughing stocks of 2025, they're here to send a message, not just to the NFC South, but to all of the NFL, like, hey, we're rebuilding with what we got with the salary cap and whatnot. We're going to make an impact in 2026. And watch this team make some noise. I wouldn't even be surprised if we could shock everybody and be winning that division in 2026. And watch out for teams like the Falcons, the Bucks, and the Panthers. You know, I'm looking, as much as I was looking forward to LSU in 2026 with Lane Kiffin, I think I'm more hyped to see the Saints now than LSU. One of them is going to have a successful season. No way in hell they would let both teams have a very successful season at the same time. But then again, I've digressed. We have seen that in the past. And we're going to see what happens this season. But that's about all I got on the Saints free agency. I know the last several days have been crazy with players going where and back to picking up Travis Etienne. I think we saw this coming. Well, I didn't see this coming whenever the Chiefs picked up K9 from the Seahawks. The guy who was a Super Bowl MVP is now going to Kansas City because I figured Travis was going to go to the Chiefs. Real talk. But when they picked up K9, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I could see him with Sean Payton in the Broncos. Wrong again. When I got that alert on ESPN app that Travis Etienne is signed by the New Orleans Saints for $52 million, then the hype level went up. I was pumped about it. We all pumped about it. Ready to see that former Jennings Bulldog come back home and rep the black and gold. But here's some other crazy turnouts that happened. I'm not going to mention everything that happened. I'm just going to kind of remember off the top of my head some of the biggest pickups in the free agency. Like the shit with Mason Crosby. You know, we thought he was going to go to the Baltimore Ravens. Failed a physical with they dropped him. Now he's going back to the Raiders. Hell, even Geno Smith being dropped by the Raiders, which we knew this was coming. We know they got that number 1 pick. You know, they're going to go get Fernando Mendoza, but he found him a new home. He's going to the New York Jets. The Dolphins releasing Tua, but Tua going to go play for the Atlanta Falcons, and kind of leads a question is, will he be the starting quarterback with Michael Penix Jr. out with an injury, Kirk Cousins getting cut? Now that just leaves Tua up with a 1-year contract, and I could see him potentially being a starter. With him out of Miami picking up Malik Willis. You know, man, it's been crazy. That's all I'm gonna give you for about right now. And I think there's still more, you know, people re-signing, people getting released, people going in the free agency that are getting picked up. It's been insane, dude. But this gets me more hype. I'm about 6 weeks until the draft. That's when I'm really gonna get hyped for the season. When they finally officially release what week everyone's gonna play who, then we're gonna get more hyped up, and then the clock will be ticking as we get ready for the upcoming season in 2026. That's all the talk I got on the Saints and the free agency and whatnot. I still got a little bit more New Orleans talk. I got an update on the New Orleans Pelicans, so we should be in and out with this one. So let's get ready and do a little talk on the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's go ahead and take flight, shall we? This is Take Flight, where I do my New Orleans Pelicans talk. And since last show, which not Monday, since Sunday, the last time I talked about them, the Pelicans did play 1 game, and they got a big win at home. They beat the Toronto Raptors 122-111. Big win. Let's look at some numbers real quick. This is the only one I gotta do for them. Trey Murphy, 28 points. Ives Missy, 10 rebounds. DeJounte Murray, 6 assists. Those were your leaders in that win over the Raptors. Zion, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers in that one. DeJounte Murray also had 27 points. Herb Jones, 16. Big win for them. Congratulations to the Pelicans. As of right now, they now move to 22-45. I know it's still not good numbers, but hey, they trying to add more wins before their season wraps up. Because we know, like, we're still counting down. So now they got 6 games in April, 9 games remaining in the month of March. So they got 15 games left until their season wraps up. And I want to say the current stat leaders are still the same. Trey Murphy still leading in points this season, averaging 22.1 points per game. Derek Queen leading in rebounds and assists this season. He's averaging 7 rebounds per game and 3.9 assists per game. Herb Jones is leading in steals, averaging 1.7 steal per game. And Yves Missy is averaging 1.4 blocks per game this season. Well, what they got at least coming up till about Wednesday, tomorrow night, they go to Houston to play the Rockets. Friday the 13th, Monday night, they're back at home against the Dallas Mavericks. And Wednesday, March 18th, they host the Clippers down at the Smoothie King Center. So that's about all we got for my New Orleans talk. Let's go ahead and jump to Baton Rouge. Let's go to Tigerland and do a quick update on the 225. Let's go. This is the 225, and we'll just start this one off. I got my updates right here. We're going to talk LSU baseball and softball real quick. So far, LSU had 1 game since last show, and they finally got a win. They welcomed in Creighton, the Fighting Blue Jays, and they got the win 8-4 against the Blue Jays. Let's kind of look at some numbers in this game. Like, we'll start with the LSU's box score against Creighton. They've had a total of 8 runs, 9 hits, 7 RBIs, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, courtesy of Jake Brown and Cerna. They got them some home runs, 6 base on balls. They had 7 strikeouts. 4 were hit by a pitch. We had 9 left on base. They had 1 stolen base, 27 putouts, 8 assists, and they've also had only 2 errors. I mean, doesn't sound too bad. While the pitching crew, they've had 6 different pitchers in this game, but in 9 innings, LSU's pitching crew against Creighton, they've only allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 errors, 5 base on balls. They've had 11 strikeouts, 2 wild pitches, 2 only hit 2 players. They faced 40 different batters. They've also allowed 1 double. They had 1 extra base hit, 8 flyouts, 8 ground outs, and out of 176 total combined pitches, also threw 103 total strikes against Creighton. So, I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, this could have been worse. I mean, at one point in this game, they were trailing 2-0, but they made a comeback victory against Creighton. But they needed this win so freaking bad. As of right now, they're now 13-5 overall, but they dropped so big in the top 25. They went from number 2 to I think like they're like between 13 and 17. I'm gonna pull it up real quick because I was, trust me, I was not surprised. They dropped that. They dropped to 13 actually. So it's like 1 UCLA, 2 Texas, 3 Mississippi State, 4 Georgia Tech, 5 Arkansas, 6 Auburn, 7 Southern Miss, 8 Georgia, 9 Oklahoma, 10 North Carolina State, 11 Clemson, 12 Wake Forest, 13 LSU, 14 Virginia, 15 North Carolina, 16 Coastal Carolina, 17 TCU, 18 Oregon State, 19 Tennessee, 20 Florida State, 21 Kentucky, 22 Texas A&M, 23 Florida, 24 UTSA, and 25 USC. So they dropped 11 spots after losing to basically little high school colleges, to schools like McNeese and Northeastern, Sacramento State, UL, losing to those guys. Well, they finally go into NCC play this weekend. They hit the road. They go to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt, which is it's gonna be a challenge. We know Vanderbilt's history, their rich history of college baseball. All going to be late games except Sunday. 6 p.m. tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Saturday. Sunday will be at 3 p.m. Friday's game will probably be the only one that will not be on national television. But if you got ESPN Plus or the SEC Plus, whether it's on the ESPN app or Disney, you can catch it. Saturday's game will be live on the SEC Network. Sunday's game will be on ESPN2. So you'll at least get to watch 2 out of 3 if you don't have an ESPN account. You'll at least get to watch 2 out of 3. But if it's up to me, I figured by now when they go into SEC play, I'd have them all nationally televised where you ain't got to stream it. If you got your local cable or satellite provider, I'd have this either on ESPN, one of the ESPN channels, ABC, or the SEC Network at least. But that's how they do it. And then after that, they got Grambling on St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday until their next SEC series the following weekend. Oh, actually, be their first home SEC series next weekend with Oklahoma. We'll talk more about that when we get to next week. I'll jump to softball real quick. I know as of right now, LSU softball is currently 18-7. They're still winless in the conference, undefeated at home, but 2-3 on the road. So, and I know with the weather, no, they didn't get affected by it. But Tuesday, they went to Nichols, got the victory. 12-2. They currently sit at number 20 right now, but they go into SEC play yet again. Hopefully to get back in the win column, since they are undefeated at home, they got a higher advantage of getting some wins this weekend. They welcome Texas A&M in SEC play at home. First home SEC series against A&M, 6 p.m. on. It's going to start Saturday too, by the way. No game tomorrow. The series will start Saturday and will conclude on Monday. All 3 games will be at 6 p.m. Central. I'm pretty sure they're going to be televised on either SEC Network, ESPN, and so forth. We'll go ahead and give an update on LSU basketball, which I'm not even going to. You can kind of say the PMAX show edition kind of wrapped up with, first off, Kim Mulkey's Tigers falling in the semifinals of the SEC tournament. They're waiting to hear their name get called to see where they're going to end up in the NCAA tournament. But I called it. I told you this was going to happen. And let me just say, I am freaking relieved finally that this season of a shit show for Matt McMahon's Tigers is finally over. It wrapped up in the SEC tournament. They started the whole tournament off playing Kentucky, and the tournament is it in Nashville? Yeah, it's in Nashville. They fell 87-82, knocked out in the first round. Thank God it's over. Now it's time to make some better changes. Find a coach that wants to come to Baton Rouge and win, and I don't want to believe the hype if it's true about Will Wade. With all the shit that happened years back, I just can't see Will Wade coming back to Baton Rouge. He's much better off in Raleigh right now at NC State, even though I kind of wish he'd have stayed at McNeese. But McNeese is going to be okay. We'll talk more about them later. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and jump to the 337. Talk about McNeese and some other stuff. So you know what? Let's go ahead and take it to my neck of the woods. Let's go. Now we're in the 337, and we'll go ahead and start things off. We're going to do our little baseball in Southwest Louisiana edition. Let's talk about the LSU Bengals real quick. Run this down. This ain't going to take long. They were supposed to play 2 games this week, but got canceled. I don't know. They were supposed to go to Galveston to play Galveston College. Game on Tuesday, game got canceled. I don't know if it was the severe weather or not. Today they were supposed to play Angelina College. I don't remember if it was a road game or not. But that game got canceled. And they're not going to play again until Saturday. They're going to welcome in Bossier Parish Community College for a 2-game series. I don't know if you want to call it a rivalry game. But Saturday at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. It's a doubleheader, also at 4 p.m. So get your tickets now if you want to watch some great junior college baseball, the greatest junior college team of all time. Oh, they're the Cavaliers, by the way. Bossier Parish Cavaliers. Until next show, they finally go on the road. They go to South Arkansas on St. Patrick's Day. And then they'll finally play their first road series at Panola College in Carthage, Texas next weekend. That's all we got for the Bengals. Meanwhile, the Raging Cajuns, they were supposed to play McNeese yesterday, but the game got postponed due to all that weather. So, and plus with McNeese's March Southland Conference tournament going on, everybody's been at TLA. But this game will be postponed. I will keep you updated on a date, but so far the only game the Raging Cajuns have played this week, they hosted UT Rio Grande Valley on Tuesday night, got the win 11-7. And only thing coming up for the Cajuns, they got a home series this weekend. They welcome in South Alabama at the Teague. 6 p.m. tomorrow night, 2 p.m. on Saturday, 1 p.m. on Sunday. And then next Wednesday, they head to H-Town to take on the Houston Cougars. That's all we got for the Raging Cajuns. We'll go ahead and jump to McNeese baseball and softball real quick before I save the best for last. So, yeah, McNeese, we know game with UL it's going to get postponed. The only thing they got coming up this weekend, they go into conference play. It's the Battle of the Border. They go to Beaumont to play the Lamar Cardinals. 7:05 p.m. tomorrow night, Saturday at 5:05 p.m., and Sunday at 1:05 p.m. Of course, you can watch it on ESPN+. The next Wednesday, they're back at the show to welcome Prairie View A&M. 8-8 overall record right now, which I should have gave out UL's baseball record. Let's see if I can get that back up and give them some love. But let's talk about, I'm going to give you some more love. Another team that's been dominating at McNeese right now. McNeese softball has been killing it. Like, probably the second or third best team in the school right now. By the way, Raging Cajuns are currently 13-4. 10-3 at the Teague, 3-1 on the road. So they got a decent record. They are a really good baseball team. Meanwhile, McNeese softball, not skipping a beat. Let me just say they're currently 19-7 right now with a 4-game win streak. 13-5 at home, 5-1 on the road, 1-1 at a neutral site. Yeah, they did drop one game to Baylor. But like I said from last show, they beat Houston for a second time, and they swept Lamar. They were supposed to play at Louisiana Tech yesterday, but the game got postponed. So sometime soon they're going to go play in Ruston, but this weekend they go back in conference play. Low in-state rivalry matchup, too. They go to Natchitoches to play Northwestern State, the Demons, 6 p.m. on Friday, and a doubleheader on Saturday at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. for that one. And then they get themselves a little break before they go back in conference play again. So McNeese has been rolling in all sorts of good stuff. Now let's talk. Oh man, I'm ready for this. I'm gonna go ahead and give it its intro. Y'all ready to talk some McNeese basketball? Let's go ahead and play this short video. This is the Bayou Bandit duel, I call it. That's right. This is what I call the Bayou Bandit duel, where I talk McNeese basketball. And let me just go ahead and just share this first. Back to back to back. Southland Conference Tournament champions is the McNeese Cowboys. 2 under Will Wade, and this year under Bill Armstrong. Big shout out to Lake Charles. They killed it hosting yet another Southland Conference tournament. And like I said, I think they got this locked in. I think they're hosting it another at least another 4 years. I think they're under contract for 2 to 4 more years. If not in 2028, I think by 2030, the Southland Conference tournament is going to be hosted in Lake Charles. And since they've hosted it, McNeese has won it every single year. And let's go back Let's go back to Tuesday night. The semifinal game, because remember they had a first and second round bye in the tournament, being a number two seed. Tuesday night semifinal game. I was there in attendance. Great atmosphere. Late start time. But let me just say, that game with UT Rio Grande Valley felt more like the championship game than Stephen F. Austin. The game with UT Rio Grande Valley went into triple overtime. Back and forth game, and the Pokes survived, got the win 84-80 against the Vaqueros. Larry Johnson, 27 points, 12 rebounds. He led in points and rebounds against UT Rio Grande Valley. Garway Duel led in assists with 10. He also ended the night with 3 turnovers and 10 points. Javon Garcia, we're going to talk about him in a bit. 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist against the Vaqueros. The game ended before midnight, I'll say that. It was a little after 11 o'clock, and we stayed out and celebrated after. Getting home was probably the worst part, because I don't recall the parking lot ever being that rough getting out of, especially from a packed house like that. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I didn't get home till about 1 o'clock, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But it was all worth it, especially yesterday. They played in the finals. They played Stephen F. Austin, a team they splitted with as well. Last time the Lumberjacks came to TLA, McNeese got the win in a nail-biter. When they went to Nacogdoches, the Lumberjacks got the win there in a close game. This one really wasn't that close. McNeese, I think, was ready. They were ready to show them what they do best. They put a belt to ass on Stephen F. Austin, winning the game 76-59, winning their 3rd straight conference tournament championship. And once again, for the 3rd straight year, punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And I'm going to have a full update on that Sunday, because bracketology edition. We're going to talk about that later. But let's talk about Javon Garcia's very last game at Townsley Law Arena. 31 points he led in that game. He also ended the night with 5 rebounds, but Giannis Indijanga led in that game with 7 rebounds. Garway Duel led in assists with 6. And Tyshawn Archie, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, and 5 steals. Now we sit and wait and find out where the Pokes are traveling, what regional bracket they'll be in, and so forth. 2 years ago, they ended up in the West region. They had to go to Salt Lake City, lost in the first round to Gonzaga in Will Wade's first year. Last year, one of the most magical years, ended up in the East region. They headed out to Providence, shocked the entire college basketball world, and was the first, I wouldn't say the first, but they definitely burned some brackets, pulling that upset against Clemson, but season ended in the 2nd round after losing to Purdue. Well, I'm ready to see how far they can take it. Can they make it to the Sweet 16 for the first time? Can they get past the first round again? Can they get past the 2nd round for the first time? I'm going to want to pull their resume up. McNeese is one of them Cinderella teams, man. And you got to give it to one guy. You got to give it to the greatest manager you can ever ask for in college basketball, Amir Khan. And Amir Khan is back at the big dance. The aura is coming back on prime for people to see. There's something special about that boy. Ever since they put a boombox right around his neck and leads the team to the court, jamming shot calling from NBA YoungBoy, there was a spark that blew in Lake Charles that this kid, or this gentleman, he's a grown adult. This man changed the landscape of McNeese basketball. There will be no one like Amir Khan. Amir Khan is a national treasure to McNeese and a down-to-earth, very respected gentleman. I've met Amir Khan several times. Very down-to-earth guy. Such a very, very nice person you can ever meet. And it was sad to see him leave for a bit, but I'm so glad he came back home. He followed Will Wade to NC State for a bit. He's back in Lake Charles, and he's back in the big dance again. man, I wish we could keep him forever. I mean, I'm hoping maybe McNeese can pull something off. Like, after he graduates, they could give him a job to be like the head of the managers or whatever, and we could still see him on game days walking out to the court with the boombox, whether they're playing shot calling or he could play Boo by Headband and the TLA will be a rockin'. He brings the vibe to the McNeese Athletics for basketball, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. We love Amir Khan. We love the aura. We gotta keep him as long as possible. Well, I want to look at McNeese's little resume here. This is going to be their 6th appearance in the NCAA tournament. Their first was back in 1968. They've also won in 89 and 2002. But then they've went 3 consecutive. This is the longest streak they've ever had attending the NCAA tournament. They did win 5-time Southland Conference tournament champions before they even had a tournament in the 60s. They won their first one the year I was born in 89. While overall they have won 8 regular season Southland Conference championships. Their last one being last year. Now that one went to Stephen F. Austin. We got the tournament. And last year was the last time they've ever won both the regular season and the conference tournament. They've also done it in 2002 and 2024. And they've only been to the second round. They said last year was the first ever, but the 1968, are you sure that was their first year? I swore on the banners it said 89 was their first. I mean, I don't know what they did in 68 unless they were in the NI. I don't remember. Unless someone hacked. Oh, wait. It says at Division II level. Okay, so, well, technically that don't count. Whatever they did in Division II level, it wasn't NCAA. So you can kind of scratch 1968 out your head. 89 was their first. So we're sitting and waiting. And we're also going to be sitting and waiting on another team. I will acknowledge this team real quick of how much success this team has had, and it's been a while. But the McNeese Cowgirls, I want to give them a congrats on a successful season, even though they came up this short, winning the Southland Conference tournament for the first time since 2011. They fell to Stephen F. Austin, 71-59. So we had the same matchup for the boys, but Stephen F. Austin takes the Stephen F. Austin girls take the tournament, while the McNeese Cowgirls took the regular season. Now they'll still make it, but we wanted it all, man. We wanted it to be 2011 all over again, because that was the last time McNeese Cowgirls won both the regular season and the conference tournament the same year. That would have been huge for them. And that was also 2011 was the time McNeese won the regular season as well. So like they've never shared. I think 2011 was the first time ever that McNeese Cowboys and Cowgirls shared regular season conference titles together. They should have shared tournaments together too, but we came up short with that. But I think they still are. I think they're still going to make their tournament as well. Sunday's the magic day. We're going to find out for everyone, men's and women's. By this weekend, conference tournaments are going to wrap up for men and women, and we'll have everything in order on Sunday, March 15th. Bracketology will happen, and then that's when I'm going to come on the air and do a live edition of filling our brackets out. Me and a few others from Driving to the Top. There's going to be about 4 or 5 of us on here. We're going to do our brackets. We're going to predict the first rounds, and then we're just going to do our own predictions from the round of 32 to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, Final 4, to the National Championship. And you heard it first from yours truly. Well, all right, now let's go ahead and wrap this show up. I got a little bit of H-Town stuff to talk, and we're going to take it away. Let's go ahead and take it to the 713, folks. Welcome to the land where it just don't stop. Trunks pop, tops drops, and the front end hop. And I want to start with the World Baseball Classic. Matter of fact, let's make it feel like we're at the World Baseball Classic. Right about now. How you like that? Dyken Park, baby. Speaking of that, we've been seeing quite a bit of matchups at Dyken for the World Baseball Classic. And let's go back to Monday night, where when I did my live stream talking about the free agency, the USA beat Mexico 5-3. I think I did a recap of that, if not, but I'm gonna give you some. I'll give you some numbers in this game in their win against Mexico. And Paul Skeens was on the mound that day. Starting pitcher, he's in 4 innings. He had 1 hit, 1 base on ball, and 7 strikeouts. 60 total pitches thrown with 39 strikes. Where on the hitting side, well, they don't even have the total numbers in here, but I can just say there were 2 home runs from Team USA. One from the judge himself. The other home run came from Anthony. But they got the win in that one. And we thought, hey, all you got to do is win this game and you got your ticket loaded to go to the quarterfinals. But Italy had something to say about that. Blown us out at one point. They tried to make a comeback, but it was too late. They fell to Italy 8-6. So they needed a little help from the team that beat them to keep their hopes alive to go to the quarterfinals. By the way, in their game with Italy, the hitting team had 6 runs, 11 hits, 6 RBIs, 3 home runs, 1 base on ball, and 8 strikeouts. While the pitching crew for USA, they've allowed 6 hits, 8 runs, 5 errors, 4 base on balls. They had 11 strikeouts and allowed 3 home runs against Italy. But luckily, we had some help because we needed a lot of help yesterday. Italy took on Mexico. And if Italy won, we advance. Now, the only way we could have advanced if Mexico won was like they had to score like a less amount of points. But if they'd have won by a more amount, then they wouldn't have made it. But no, they won. Italy beat Mexico 9-1. So USA is alive and is in the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, I will not be able to go. I said if they would make it, it's in Houston. I said I would go, but unfortunately, it's tomorrow night. I will not be able to go. So my only luck is in the future. If they're able to host the World Baseball Classic again in the future, I'm going to have to shoot for that. But the quarterfinals are set. USA is going to play Canada tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in Houston. While in Miami, we got Korea versus the Dominican Republic. And then Saturday, the second half of the quarterfinals, we got Puerto Rico versus Italy in Houston at 2 p.m. with Venezuela and Japan Saturday night in Miami at 8 p.m. You can watch the games on either Fox, FS1, FS2. That's the World Baseball Classic right there. And I want to keep this image up. I do have a bit of Astros talk I want to do. You know, we're 2 weeks from tonight. It's opening week. It's opening day. Opening weekend for the 2026 MLB season. And the Astros are going to open up the 2026 season with a 4-game series with some division foes in the Angels of Anaheim. The only thing I can confirm for sure, Hunter Brown will be on the mound opening day against the Angels. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are still undecided, but if I'm going to make a prediction here, for the last 3 days. Friday's matchup, it could possibly, I'm going to say either Brian Abreu or Spencer Arguetti. I can see one of them two starting on Friday. Saturday, I'm going to go with either Josh Hader or Christian Javier. But the final day on Sunday, we start the one and only Tetsuya Imai. I think he will start the final day against the Angels. And then when we get closer to opening day, I'll probably have a full report on starting lineups. I don't think nothing's going to change. You know, I think we're still going to have, you know, I'll have it all ready next week. We'll go ahead and I'm going to keep You know what? I'll go back to the other background. I'm going to just only use this for Astros baseball, but I do love this. I mean, this is awesome. Look at that. I love it. Every single bit of it. But we'll go ahead and go back to the basketball talk. This one I'm going to be in and out with. I'll go ahead and start with the Houston Rockets. So get the lighters out because it's time to light the fuse.
Light it up, light it up, light it up, light the fuse, light it up, light it up. Taking out like a rocket. Light it up, light it up, light it up, light the fuse, light it up, light it up, taking out like a rocket.
This is Light the Fuse, where we talk Houston Rockets basketball. And since last stream, they've only played 2 games. First game, they got the win over the Toronto Raptors. Tuesday night, they beat the Raptors 113-99. A couple leaders in this game. Kevin Durant led in the game with 29 points. Şengün led in rebounds with 12. And Amen Thompson led assists with 6 and 3 turnovers in that one. KD also had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 turnovers. Jabari Smith, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Şengün had 14 points. Amen Thompson, 23 points. Great game. Now, the next night, they hit the road to Denver. They got their ass beat, basically. They lost to the Denver Nuggets 129-93. Amen Thompson led in that game with 16 points. Tyree Eason led in rebounds with 8. Kevin Durant led in assists with 5, plus he had 3 turnovers. And KD also had 11 points against the Nuggets. Jabari with 4 rebounds. Jabari Smith, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Alperen Şengün, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. Amen Thompson also had 16 points. The Rockets currently sit at 40-25. And till next week, they only got 2 opponents in 3 games. They got the Pelicans tomorrow night at Toyota. And, well, actually, their next 5 games are home. Pels tomorrow night, and then back-to-back games with the Lakers on Monday, March 16th, and again Wednesday night, March 18th. Monday night on Peacock or NBCSN, Wednesday night on ESPN. And then the next 2 until next road game, Hawks and the Miami Heat. By the way, Miami Heat, I'm going to change the subject real quick. Bam! Set an all-time record in his game against the Washington Wizards. I know I haven't been playing clips lately, but if I'm saying the name right, Bam Adebayo set a record. He passed up Kobe Bryant, 83 total points in a single game. Surpassing Kobe Bryant, who had 81 points, I want to say back in the early 2000s. But I was joking about it. I ain't no Curtis Blow here, but, you know, if I was talking basketball to people today, it could go something like, tell me, were you in the joint the night Bam scored 83 points, or when Warriors won titles back-to-back and LeBron would be crying from getting smacked? Or when Zach LaVine stuck his arm in the rim, everybody snapped like a Slim Jim. Victor Wembanyama standing tall, playing D with desire. It's basketball. $1 million song right there. Get back. Get back. Get back. I gotta play this one. I ain't had it play this one in a while. That line was so hard. Give me 5 on it. I got 5 million on that. Oh, good shit. Good shit. Let's look at some current stat leaders for the Rockets before I wrap this up with the Cougars. So far, same results, about the same numbers. Kevin Durant leading in this season with points, averaging 25.9 points per game. Şengün leading in rebounds and assists, averaging 8.9 rebounds per game and 6.1 assists per game. Amin Thompson averages 1.5 steals per game and averages Şengün also averages 1.1 block per game. So Şengün still leading 3 out of 5. Now let's go ahead and wrap this up. This one I'm gonna be in and out with, and we'll see who they got next. Sound the alarm, because we're about to talk Houston Cougar basketball, and this is the Red Alert.
Go Cougs, this a Red Alert. Who it's all about? It's all about the Cougars. It's all about the Cougars.
Yes, we are wrapping up tonight with the Red Alert, Houston Cougar basketball, and I know the Big 12 tournaments have been going on after having a first and second round bye in the Big 12 tournament. The Houston Cougar, not first round, second round bye, just a first round bye. Shit. After a first round bye only, they had their first game tonight, quarterfinal matchup with BYU. They get the win 73-66 against the other Cougars. Once again, H-Town, UH is showing they the real Cougars of the Big 12. Another big night for Kingston Flemings. He led in the game with 17 points. He also ended his night with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and 2 steals. Joseph Tugler led in rebounds with 8. He also had 4 assists, 4 turnovers, 12 points, and 4 steals. Chris Sinnock Jr., 10 points and 7 rebounds. Emmanuel Sharp, 13 points and 4 rebounds. We know who they're going to play. They're going to play the winner of Kansas and TCU, which let's get an update on that, shall we? I picked, it's halftime, TCU leading the Jayhawks 34-31, but I got Kansas winning that game. Semifinal game will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Is it 6? Let's see. I actually got the tournament schedule on my phone here. Here we go. Oh no, 8:30. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow night at 8:30, they'll play the winner of that game, TCU and Kansas. Now, if they make it to the semifinals, they will play that game at 5 p.m. No, shit, the championship game. Tomorrow night is the semifinals with either Kansas or TCU. The finals will be Saturday afternoon at 5 p.m. Whether if it's, let's see who's still standing in that one. Let's do a little comparison, and then I'll wrap this show up. Texas Tech got upset by Iowa State. Holy shit. 75-53. While Arizona beat UCF 81-59. So the Final Four in the Big 12, we got Iowa State versus Arizona, 2 teams that beat Houston in the regular season. And then we got Houston, and they're waiting for the 4th and final competitor, whether if it's TCU or it's Kansas. And I'll have all that updated on Sunday. But until then, this is going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know you can't keep me down. March Madness is going to keep me off for a little while. But I think once college basketball is over with, I might go back to 1 show a week. Because I don't want to start taking a break once MLB gets on the scene. But you know what? It might happen. So you know what? Probably after the national championship's over. The title game, I think, is April 6th, by the way. I might take like a week break. I don't know. I'll think about it if they let me. I'll take like a week off. Because, March Madness is going to keep me rolling. Rolling. Gotta love that time of year. But tune in Sunday. I'm going to say about 7 p.m. So Sunday, March 15th, around 7 p.m., the brackets should be complete where you can fill them out and enter in that chance to win all that money. We're going to do a show. Myself. It's going to be myself. I know for sure myself, Adam, Dylan, and Jeremy, all from Driving to the Top. Our Jacksonville Jaguar, Dylan, our Detroit Lion, Jeremy, and our Pittsburgh Steeler, Adam, for sure. But I'm gonna put the link in all our group texts from Driving to the Huddle, Driving to the Top, any other group chats we're in. it's going to be open for anybody from Driving to the Top production family. If you want to come in and hang out with us and fill your bracket out, make some predictions with us, I'm going to have it open, but we're going to go live at 7 p.m. Central Sunday, March 15th. If you want to tune in or join in and so forth. It's going to be fun. March Madness is always fun, especially if you're a big basketball fan like me. But until then, thank y'all. God bless. Peace, love. I'm out. It's getting cold again. This weather don't know what the hell it wants. Stay safe out there. Check on your loved ones. And y'all have a wonderful weekend and everything. I'll catch you guys next time.